that's right. We're right here at Sharp Facets Gallery. I have captured Debra Smith, who is the executive director of the Newberry Opera House, taking a break from some politics today to talk about the arts. What a good opportunity. And you know, you're wearing that lovely squash blossom there. You walked in and you found out, wow.
I was so impressed. I walked in the door and found this gorgeous, gorgeous collection of Navajo mostly, and beautiful, beautiful squash blossoms and Indian necklaces. You have a turquoise bracelet out there with a piece of turquoise about the size of my fist. It is gorgeous. And
but you found out about your piece.
Oh, well, yeah, that's exciting too. My piece is signed, and it's by somebody who your husband knew, which makes it even more exciting.
Absolutely.
But I've also got a rave about a coral piece that you have out there. Oh, it is gorgeous. Back then, I thought, oh, who wants coral? You know, I picked this up when I was at my first trip out with a girlfriend. We were driving out west. We were going to go to California. Not to stay. This was not a we are going to move. It was a let's go on the summer vacation trip, and we had a blast. We went, you know, down the Snake River and in Grand Canyon, and did all the parks and had a great time. But we also picked up a few pieces of jewelry along the way. Back in, I was trying to remember, maybe $30, but we were just talking, $30 was a lot more for a college kid who didn't have a job yet. That was a lot of money back then. It's not what you just pay at the grocery store these days when you don't really have to buy very much.
Exactly.
Dollars have changed.
Absolutely, they have. That's a fabulous piece, and you're right, we do have some pieces very similar to that, but isn't that interesting to walk in this store and find out about the piece that you've had all these years?
Amazing, just amazing. And the pieces, really, if anybody is interested in a perfect Christmas present, you need to come down here. If you have a lovely lady for whom you don't know what to get, some of those squash blossoms at Sharp Facets are gorgeous.
Well,
most ladies would really die for that. You would be very much appreciated for that gift. Let me assure you. I don't know a woman alive that wouldn't like that coral squash blossom.
Well, they look great, particularly with black. You know, just simple black and an impressive piece of jewelry always does well, doesn't it?
And I wear black all the time. So if anybody wants to buy me that coral,
okay.
But yeah, your significant lady would love that, whomever she is, because the squash blossoms are one of those things that just never go out of style.
Right.
You know, they're always, just as you said, a significant piece of jewelry. I'm not talking diamonds and rubies; those things you keep in the safety deposit box. But a cool, interesting handmade piece is wonderful.
You're right. You're right. Well, thank you very much for that. And, of course, we are right here at Sharp Facets Gallery this afternoon. We do have Debra Smith with us. She is the executive director of the Newberry Opera House. And I tell you what, I am so impressed with the new schedule that you have put together for this year. Wow, wow, wow.
Well, it was impressive to me because, I mean, we opened up with Robert Earl Keen, the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, Jerry Butler, the Iceman, Maurice Williams, Tommy Emmanuel, Royal and drummers of Burundi, Mother's Finest, Mac McAnally, who is Jimmy Buffett's favorite, and Gordon Lightfoot, and that's only the first 10 days.
How was Gordon Lightfoot? I mean, I remember him from many years ago, and I couldn't believe Gordon Lightfoot here.
Who doesn't? I mean, he has written so many. I mean, most everybody knows Sundown, a few of those, but my favorite was the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Absolutely.
And what he sang all of them. He has been ill, and let me say he looks like he has lived hard.
Okay.
A bit craggy,
right?
But he was out the last 2 years. He's a Canadian, and he has just been sort of not feeling well. This is the first time he's toured in 2 years. Oh. We were so excited to get him.
And you had a sold-out crowd, didn't you?
He was the first one to go. I mean, everybody, and he sounded wonderful. He looked, as I said, a little bit.
You know, sometimes what you have to do when you're seeing some of these older performers that you remember when you were young, you have to keep your eyes closed and just reminisce.
I mean, he was still handsome.
Right.
craggy, little Clint Eastwoody.
Yeah.
That was what he looked like.
Right.
Not
But I'm still, you remember them from the past.
Yeah, you remember. But you don't want to. But I never want to look in the mirror either. So, I'm very forgiving. Like I never ask anybody's age because they might come back and ask me. And I don't know that they're going to believe 27. But
she's been living hard. She's been doing a lot. But
it has been really sad. We have Preservation Hall.
Oh my God, the Jet Hall.
And whenever they roll into town, it's so much fun. There are a couple of people that when you roll into town, there's no missing them. Johnny Cash used to be that way. His bus was all black. His 2 tractor trailers were all black, and you just knew who was coming into town. Well, Preservation is that way too, and it's not that they splash Preservation Hall all over the bus. It's Zatarain.
Zatarain. Oh yeah,
Zatarain
right.
must have bought them their bus.
Yeah.
And it is fabulous publicity for Zatarain. And you see it on the commercials, and you hear it, and there it is. The bus rolls into town, and you know that Preservation Hall is here. And they are such a cool band. I mean, they play such wonderful jazz, and you never know who's going to be in it. You're always going to get some guys that are 80 and some guys that were in their 20s. The new ones, and you never know the mix. And they tell you that. They don't sell you a person. They send you a band. And it is always wonderful. And it is always so New Orleans. And you always get people getting up and marching around. And they always make everybody get up. And when the Saints come marching in, you come in marching too. And they make people, it's a little bit of a lot of a show.
Yeah.
But it is a little interactive. And all the great music. I mean, it's a lot of fun, the Preservation.
That's terrific.
Yeah,
and that's coming up tomorrow night, right?
Tomorrow night.
Yeah.
And then Friday night, and I don't think we have any more tickets for Edwin McCain. He's, I think, gone, but there may be a call in fast if you want him. He is, Greenville's star these days. Letterman's favorite musician, he says. But Edwin McCain has written so many wonderful songs, and just I'll Be, and just always very, very popular. And then we skip Saturday nights very often during the fall because I never get the USC and Clemson football schedules in time to book.
Yeah,
I cannot, no matter who. Well, Gordon Lightfoot competed. He did fine, but I don't like. Why? That's a little bit too dangerous for me. So
right.
When you get 80,000 people going to Williams-Brice and 80,000 people going to Death Valley, that doesn't leave a whole lot.
Who's left?
Exactly. The ones left willing to buy tickets, or would they rather sit home, have a beer and watch TV.
Exactly.
So I don't have a Saturday night show. However, Sunday I have a killer. It is so much fun. It's Deer Camp. Do you remember Bob Newhart's show?
Absolutely.
All right. Daryl and Daryl?
Yes.
Yes. Daryl and Daryl are starring in Deer Camp.
The Daryl
and Daryl.
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
And they're playing characters very similar to Daryl and Daryl.
They don't have to really act then. Is that what you're telling me?
And they look the part so beautifully. Deer Camp is what perhaps your #1 ace hunters do when the guys go off and spend the weekend at a deer camp. And they bring you back a pound of hamburger and try and convince you it's a deer.
Okay.
That's the style. I mean, it is. Let me see if I wrote down any of these things. Yeah, some of them. If I Were a Male Dancer, the Grunt Horn song. A thing. It's a musical,
right?
But it's not songs you have normally heard. It is just.
Sounds like a lot of parody type stuff.
Is it ever?
Yeah.
It's just a lot of fun, and that's what
Any more we need things to make us laugh.
And this one, you'll be rolling in the aisles, because the guys are just so deadpan funny. I can just picture those two Daryls.
Well, you can do the camera over there if you want. Deadpan the camera.
No thanks.
Get the idea.
Yeah, Deer Camp is coming, and then we have a local guy who does Elvis is coming, and then next Sunday, Janice Ian and Tom Paxton. Janice Ian is a fabulous folk singer and writer, and Tom Paxton I adore. You know, he's just such a sweet little teddy bear of a former no, I shouldn't say former hippie, of a hippie grown older.
An older hippie.
An older hippie.
Well, I tell you what, when we come back, we're going to talk a lot more. I see Cindy Williams' name on the list here. I see a lot of names you're going to want to hear. So why don't you stay right with us right here on WCRS. We're going to hear a quick word from our sponsors, and then when we come back, we're going to hear about the Hitmen. Oh, don't you go away. Oh, that's right. We're right back here at Sharp Facets Gallery on the 72 Bypass. We absolutely have piqued some interest here this afternoon because we had David Colbert call in and say, but how do you buy the tickets?
David, I love you. I don't know you very well, but your question was so good. www.newberryoperahouse.com, or just call right down. We have some great folks down there, 803-276-6264. Or you can send us a note, but you get instant gratification with a call.
Absolutely.
They will tell you exactly what we have left. And for instance, if you're interested in Edwin McCain, call down there, because we probably have limited seats on the internet. So always the best way is to call down, better even than the internet, and talk to the ladies and gentlemen down there, and they can look and tell you what just turned up. We have wonderful patrons, and if somebody has a cold, excuse me, I just kicked you, I'm sorry, or something, and they return the tickets, so you can never tell.
You might look out with some fabulous seats right there at the end.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what is also interesting, the day of the show, in most shows we are required to hold 10 seats for the performer, and they have to be relatively good seats. So, and we're required. You can't get rid of them until the performer in person tells you you can let them go.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that doesn't happen till 5 of 8. But even on a sold-out show, it is worth making that telephone call to see what's going on, because tickets turn up. We try really hard not to turn away someone.
You know, one of the wonderful things about the Newberry Opera House is the size, I mean, the intimacy of it. How many people can you actually seat in the whole?
426 at its maximum. Mm-hmm. And we generally don't have that many because the soundboard takes away 8 seats. And, you know,
right.
It's usually about 419, 420 is what we usually have available. So
there's not
tiny.
There's not a bad seat in the house. I've sat up top. I've sat on the first floor. It's great.
The back row is 70 feet from the stage. If you go to some place, and I love you, the Bilo Center,
right?
You're not even 70 feet in the first row.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah, I mean, you got security and stuff in front of you. So it's very intimate and very. You really have a wonderful feeling. And almost every show, the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band did it. Robert Earl Keen. They turn off their sound. They're used to playing with sound, and some of their instruments require sound. But they all just love to play with the hall, and they turn off the sound, and they sing a couple of acoustic numbers, which is Travis Tritt was here last year, and he did that, and it was just exciting. And
you get to see him up close. You get to see something that in most venues you don't have that luxury.
Not at all. I mean, you can see. It's not an elegant image, but the sweat rolling.
That's true. That's
yes,
true.
It is.
And the balcony is great because you're looking down over everything. I like sitting in the balcony as well as sitting on the floor.
Yeah. And you don't even have to sit on the floor. We'll give you a seat.
Well, thank you very much.
We generally do.
Yeah.
But that's exactly right. We have the orchestra right on the main floor, and then above it, about 100 seats in the balcony. And the balcony is only 4 rows deep. The chairman of my board's very favorite tickets are in the 4th row of the balcony. You just sort of look over everything. You can see the audience reactions. You can see the performer on stage. And it is a gorgeous place.
And the other thing I like is that the performers are engaged with the audience. They're not just separated like in a Bilo Center where you just look in the distance. They are with you right there.
They can see you,
yes.
Which is what makes it so exciting. That first row is meant. Boy, when we had Michael Bolton last year, the ladies wanted that first row so badly.
Did you get any extra for those seats?
No, we should
have. Well, I remember
But-
we went down there when Brenda Lee was there,
Yes.
and she was standing like right in front of me. We were near the very front, and a guy handed her an album up, and she signed it right on stage, took the time, and talked to people
Yes.
right there. That's what I thought was
They
great.
do that.
Yeah.
Because they can see you. And if you're just absolutely enchanted, and this is somebody who you have wanted to see all year. Well, we were just talking off microphone. We had an announcement about a performer who's not in this brochure, Olivia Newton-John.
Whoop whoop!
Big news, big news.
Right.
I mean, she's huge. She
Right.
is huge. You will not believe geographically the location of Newberry, South Carolina, but I'll tell you about the route for Olivia Newton-John.
Okay.
She is playing at the Trump Casino in Atlantic City, the
Okay.
Newberry Opera House, and Disney World.
Oh my God, you are huge, honey, to get her to come right there. You would
Isn't
think she
that
would be going to the
astounding?
Bilo
Anywhere,
or something.
anywhere,
Yeah.
but she's coming to us.
How about that?
And
Now,
I
what's the
spoke
date?
to-
'Cause
it
people
is
are listening.
December 6th, and we still have about 40 tickets. So
803-276-6264. Right.
Very, very few tickets. She only went on sale October 2nd. Now, she was fairly expensive, so the tickets are fairly expensive, but a deal, because it's Olivia Newton-John in a 400-seat hall.
125 a ticket,
Yes,
correct? Yeah.
yes, it is. That's what it is. Well, also we have some for 95. We
Okay.
wanted to
There
from
is.
95 to 125.
Okay.
But I was talking. We were so busy when the sales went on when they first announced it. I was talking to a lady, and she said, "I don't care. She is on my bucket list. I have to see her." I mean, oh, good Lord!
And the thought went through your mind,
but I
Deborah.
didn't do it.
But you said to yourself, should we get more for it? But she didn't do it. There you go.
But can you imagine? I mean, that is so exciting for a producer to hear that. It's wonderful. You want to give people things
Sure.
that they really want to see. I can't tell you how much I love that woman for saying that. It was just wonderful.
Particularly made you feel good because you'd gone out on a limb together there.
We had gone out on one of the biggest limbs I've ever been on. I mean, I could feel that. I didn't want a squirrel to jump down. We were teetering because I had to put out a lot. When you get somebody like that. But we also have Clint Black this year.
Wow.
Who was another big one.
Yep.
I mean, what we're finding is when we can, and it is unusual for these people to play places like us.
Small venues,
But
yeah.
again, I mean, when we had Gordon Lightfoot, for instance, the agent called me up and said, "All right, this is your one chance in a lifetime to get him because the routing fits." And I said, "Okay, we'll take him. We'll take him." And I figured, I'm going to get him on Monday night or something like that. It just, by pure chance, the way the routing went, I got him on a Saturday night, which was, who expects that? Because people really pay the other producers triple what we're paying. But they have, so much of this business is dependent on how many seats you have.
Sure.
And that's how they, not entirely, the performers have a minimum that they will go out for, and it doesn't matter how many seats.
Right.
But then, if you're looking at 3,000 seats, which is what mostly Olivia's looking at, they know what your income is going to be.
Sure.
It's easy math. It's only 6th grade math. It's multiplying.
Are you smarter than a 5th grader? Yes, you can multiply. All right.
So we were very happy, but they know that the Opera House is intimate and it's professional, and like I think I've said numbers of times, we have ladies that cook well.
Yes, yes.
So,
good food and
good
a nice...
food, a hotel right across the street that's lovely, good parking, and very professional crew. So they say, okay, yeah, this will be a nice off night, essentially.
Well, I
for
think,
them.
they're working, but they're also relaxing.
Exactly.
And
Because anybody on stage loves still to perform.
Sure.
They are there because they want the audience to react, because
Absolutely.
they want the audience to enjoy what they're doing. They're putting out for people, and they want to see those people, and they want to hear it. And we have wonderful audiences. I mean, they are so appreciative. You would not have believed. Do you know who Mother's Finest is?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we had them a couple of weeks ago. We just opened the 15th of September, I think it was. People never sat down after the first song.
Wow.
I mean, it was too bad. If you wanted to sit, you couldn't because you couldn't sit. Everybody was up dancing. You love that. That kind of
Absolutely.
thing is fun, too.
Absolutely.
It is.
Well, I tell you what, when we come back, we're going to talk more about the schedule, more about the Newberry Opera House. If you'd like to see about getting tickets, give them a call, 803-276-6264. You can also go online to their website, newberryoperahouse.com. We're going to listen to South Carolina news and a word from our sponsors. Don't you go away. And if you got a question, 229-7984. That's 229-7984.
Arg, are you a pirate or a pack rat? Do you have a vacation of a lifetime sitting in the attic? Or a college tuition hung on a wall? Or is a fabulous retirement hidden in your jewelry box? Bring those items to Sharp Facets Gallery. We can establish value and buy from you or sell for you. And so ends another chapter at Sharp Facets Gallery, 72 Bypass, and on the web, sharpfacets.com.
Oh, that's right. We're right back here, Sharp Facets Gallery, having a great time. I just heard that, I asked Debra if she had been off during the summer, and she goes, not this summer, Ann. We just, spent $600,000?
$600,000 in renovations and repair. We were open. This is our 15th season coming up. And so at this point, we needed some fresh paint. We needed
$600,000 worth of fresh paint? Hello, Debra!
Well, we also included 2 chillers. And those chillers are massive.
Right.
And I didn't know. I mean, most people, when you want to turn up the heat, you go to your thermostat and put here. Oh, Lord. It seems like the size chillers we have require another piece of equipment that is a controller that has to be controlled only over the computer. And you got to, and it's still not working. I mean,
it's complicated.
Yesterday, when it was 50, we couldn't get the air conditioning on. I mean, our air conditioning is superb.
It's chilling.
And the chillers are chilling.
Yeah.
And it's not the chiller's fault. It's the control system. So we're working on that. And sometimes I will admit, because Mark wasn't there, our technical director, it was me trying to control it. So sometimes it's operator error. But I want to answer a question that we had over the phone.
Sure.
Yes. We have some Olivia Newton-John tickets. We only have about 40 or 50, so I would suggest call 803-276-6264 because they are going like hotcakes. I mean, it's time to get physical and pick up your telephone.
That's right, 803-276-6264. That was Doris McIntyre. She said she just moved here from Baltimore. She says the place sounds wonderful. So there you go.
It really is.
It is.
And there's plenty of parking. If you have just come, it took me under an hour to get here. It took me about 45, 50 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Very easy. Just go right on. I forget the name of the road, but it's right on through 96, and then you're practically there. And great restaurants in town. Stephen W.'s, Della Mater's, Cabana Cafe, Grill on Main, a new Thai fusion restaurant. So plenty. Come early, look at some of the shops, have a great dinner, and come to the show. It's very, very easy. In most cases, except for the Thai fusion, that's about a mile away. Most of the restaurants downtown, you just park once, and you never have to worry. And if you want to spend the night, there's a Hampton Inn directly across the street. But from Greenwood, you really don't have to. It's just an easy, pleasant drive.
Absolutely. I once was chauffeured down there in a limousine. I thought that was the way to go now, Debra.
You're right. It is. And you'd be surprised. A lot of people do. A lot of people from Greenwood and from Columbia will 2 or 3 couples.
Sure.
Usually 3 couples will rent a limo. Heck, when you divide that, it's less than the price of gas, probably.
Sure.
And that way they can have a couple of martinis
Absolutely.
with dinner and feel quite comfortable going home. So, no, it's very pleasant and very easy from Greenwood.
I mean, and it really is like stepping back into the past. I mean, you were authentic when you redid the Newberry Opera House.
Yes.
I mean, if you haven't been there, it is something like you've seen on a TV, in a movie or something. It's just fabulous.
Oh, thank you. It's a comfortable building.
Yeah.
And it's a comfortable town to be in. I like to think it's not just stepping back. It's what we should be like now.
Yeah.
Where the crime, Newberry has no crime. But the what is cool, the clearance rate. Anybody who does something gets caught right away. We are the best in the state.
Are you really?
For clearance rate, yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it's just a safe, comfortable, and Columbia had a, last year, maybe it's 2 years now, had a survey of the top 10 best restaurants in Columbia. 2 of them were in Newberry. And
2?
that's 45 miles away.
How about that?
I mean, we were thrilled. We
And
had
what 2 were
really
that?
good. Stephen W.'s and Delamonters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stephen W.'s is superb. I mean,
And the atmosphere is fabulous there. I mean, I've been there before. The atmosphere, the service, everything is top notch.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, you don't get to be ranked among the best in the state if you're not top notch. And it's a surprising little town. It has a great deal for a visitor.
Also, doesn't it have, didn't we talk about, don't you have a winery down there too?
Oh, we have Enery wineries.
Right.
Really, really good, fun experience. You can, on a Saturday, call ahead because their schedule, it's a husband and wife that run it. And sometimes they're open and sometimes
Well,
kid
we're
has a
taking
cold.
the day off. Yeah.
But call ahead. But if you're here on a Saturday, it is a wonderful tour. They have, I don't know how many acres, a bunch of acres. And they have a real tasting building with a porch up on top and a big fireplace and 2 bars open on either end. Weddings take place there. It's so pretty, and you really feel like you're in Napa Valley. You can look over the vineyards, and their wines are very good. Most of them are fairly sweet.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've learned a lot about just talking to them. And I think the younger grapes, like the ones they're growing, have a tendency to be sweeter. And as they get older and more mature, you get the drier wines. So they're dessert wines, most of them. Their Scuppernong wine is fun. And Merlot, they have a raspberry Merlot that is just, it's perfect for, you're sitting there and, you don't want a brandy. You have a little bit of this, and it's wonderful stuff. But it's really a fun, we also have the 3rd largest orchid grower in the country. In the country. I mean, you go to Hawaii and you're going to see orchids from Carter and Holmes.
Wow.
They clone them. They design them. It's fabulous. But
See, these are the little things that people need to know, though, so when they come down, they can make either a weekend of it or a day of it and do some interesting things. And it's more than just going to the Opera House, because you can eat, you can see these different things. It's just fabulous. Right there, hidden gem.
I very rarely go anywhere I can't eat. Darn it. That helps make the experience.
Absolutely.
I know it helps make me too. But all right, let me tell you about one more that's coming up because I think this is going to be fun too.
Okay,
do you remember the Nonsense? All
yes.
of those. I think even Whoopi Goldberg played in the movie.
Yes, she
with
did.
it.
Yeah.
Well, they have Danny Goggins, who first wrote Nonsense,
mm-hmm.
is doing his next one, and it is Nunset Boulevard. Guess where that title came from? This glorious once. At any rate, the nuns get a very, very exciting invitation. They get invited to the Hollywood Bowl.
Oh, okay.
That's a pretty big deal.
Right.
All right, so they go on out to Hollywood. They get their little habits on and get on the bus, and off they go. And they arrive at the Hollywood Bowl-orama.
Bowl-orama?
Bowl-orama.
Oh, a little disappointed.
And they take it from there.
Okay.
And
who's starring in that?
Cindy Williams.
Cindy Williams.
From Laverne and Shirley.
Right.
It's Shirley from Laverne, and a lot of fun. And then, lots more stuff. Jody Messina, Heads California, Tails South, Heads Carolinas, Tails California, whatever. A very popular country singer. And then we do an oyster roast. Bowish Island oyster roast.
Wow.
Delicious.
And that's on November...
that is on November...
2nd through the 4th, or is it just on the 4th that it says Newberry College?
No,
November
it is
4th.
just Sunday. It's
Right.
Sunday the 4th. And then we keep going. We got the Hitmen. We hadn't talked about that.
Hitmen.
Those are, it's a Jersey Boys compilation.
Mm-hmm.
All the Frankie Valli and those things. And these, as usual, we have the originals. We have some of the original. All of the members of this band are original players.
Wow.
So you're going to get some of the real old guys singing. But they're going to be singing all of the types of songs you want to hear. And then, it goes on. We do so many Christmas things.
December is a big month.
December, we're a little bit like your little mom and pop shop. We sell a lot of tickets at Christmas, and that depends, and it can make or break financially
Sure.
a year. But a lot of the stores have specials. They're all open around the Christmas. We have a holiday market with fascinating people. It hasn't opened yet. It's going to open either the week before Thanksgiving. We're putting this together, or the week, or it's going to load in during Thanksgiving weekend. And we have somebody who makes alpaca yarn. Someone who
makes alpaca yarn.
She has alpacas, and she
Wow.
makes yarn out of this. And have you ever felt alpaca wool?
Yes.
I mean, it's like it can float away.
Exactly.
It is so light and so warm and so beautiful. And then we have a lady that makes soaps, and we have several jewelry makers, and we have a couple of painters and a potter. So, we aside from the normal stores, which really are very exciting, we have something called Carolina Gifts that does James Shoreham Christmas and neat Santa Clauses and all of those things. And then we have Out on a Whim and a great bookstore. If you want any Caroliniana, anything, you want some of my water?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Well, I know you're good, but
Yeah. Excuse me.
Lots of cute stores at Elizabeth's on Main if you want some really snazzy women's clothing. And then we have we got a lot. So you can do a lot of Christmas shopping
And
when
come
you
to a show.
And
Yeah.
come to a show. And we're doing big Christmas shows. Aside from Olivia, we're doing things like Christmas Carol and the
What about Crystal Gale?
Oh, Crystal Gale, 2 shows, Chorus Line. The whole big, the chorus, we have
You
a
can
lot
get
of
the chorus
Broadway.
line right there on
We
the-
can get the chorus line right on stage and the mirrored wall behind it. If any of you
Wow.
have seen chorus line, and then, we could even put a Russian village and a little roof on top.
I am impressed. Hey, we're going to hear a quick word from our sponsors. We'll be back. We're here with Debra Smith. She is wound up. I'm in distress, but we'll be right back. Oh, that's right. We're right back here at Sharp Facets Gallery, and we are talking with the one and only, Debra Smith right here. And, one of the things we haven't really talked about is you can buy season tickets, but you can also buy them by category, too, can't you?
Oh, we have series.
Yeah.
Country music, older country, newer country, dance, popular, a whole slew of them. And I don't even remember what all. Oh, beach music, baby boomers. That's always fun. That's one. Bluegrass. Oh, lots of bluegrass. Big. I mean, Mountain Heart, Ralph Stanley, Ricky Skaggs, the biggest names in bluegrass.
Yeah.
And of course, Doc Watson passed away last year. He
Yes.
had been with us every single year. And so the person who he came with, David Holt, who is well known in and of himself, he does a lot of PBS shows, is going to do a tribute to him. And
How
we are
about that?
real excited about that. And then Big Broadway, Nunset Boulevard, Fiddler on the Roof, A Chorus Line, Christmas Carol, and Songs of Andrew Lloyd Webber, and 2 additional Broadway funds. We do the Deer Camp, and we do Church Basement Ladies Christmas. If any of you, and I think all of us have done this at one point or another, help make a pageant happen, you know what the church basement is, and that's what it is. It is so funny. And then we also have our Shakespeare, Taming of the Shrew, and Neil Simon, Biloxi Blue.
Wow.
But all right, let me give you a clue about one of the ones I'm looking forward to.
What are you looking forward to?
We Are Women, Hear Us Roar.
Would that be Helen Reddy?
You got it.
How about that? At the Newberry Opera House?
At the Newberry Opera House in the spring. That's going to be fun. I have loved Helen Reddy.
Absolutely.
I mean, Delta, so many big songs.
Right.
But that, I think I Am Woman, Hear Me Roar was one of the best ones. It sort of defined our growing up.
Absolutely it did.
Yeah, so Helen Reddy is coming, and she has not toured for a long time. And she's a couple of Australian belles coming back to the Opera House this year after a long hiatus. Both
Wow.
Olivia and Helen are living in Australia and now out touring again. So that's exciting for us. And then, back to Christmas, we've got tons of Christmas stuff. We got Irish tenors and step dancers, and Emil Pandolfi, the wonderful pianist who does very popular Christmas, and Ozark Jubilee, Army Band stuff. Oh, and then we also And any motorcyclists who are interested, this is an interesting thing. This one, is a non-ticketed event.
A non-ticketed event, okay.
Anybody who who rides a Harley, we have something called Boys Farm in Newberry, and it is orphanage is an old word, but it helps young men grow up and takes them in, and they live in little cottages and all of this. And what started off with about 125 motorcycles from a motorcycle club in Chapin, South Carolina, has turned into over 500 motorcycles that roar into town on a Saturday afternoon. We just close the streets. There's another
you don't have a choice.
We don't have a choice, exactly. And the boys from Boys Farm are there, and often little girls from Witten Center are there, and they accept their presents. And everybody who I talk to, all of the motorcycles love it, because so often the motorcyclists are so generous. It seems like everybody who drives a Harley has a big heart, but they put the toys in these dumpsters, and then they get shipped off somewhere. Here, they give them to the kids, and you watch their little eyes light up.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
And you watch them throw it on the floor and break it, and you feel wonderful.
Yeah, great.
That's great. They play with them immediately. There was a little pink bike. They bring big presents
on their motorcycles.
On their motorcycles, they brought a little girl's pink bike, and she never went back. She wouldn't get off that bike. She just run around and around and around.
That's when you know you've done something really good.
You know it. You know it. It's a wonderful experience. And even if you don't ride, we don't really invite folks who aren't coming, who aren't bringing toys into the Opera House, because we only hold 426, and there are over 500 bikes, and some of them have 2 people, so it gets pretty crowded in there. But come to Newberry and watch the rolling thunder as they come through town. It is so exciting, because they have the Christmas hats, and they have them wrapped, and it just makes you feel good. And after that, we always wind up with a tuba Christmas. So whatever your level of skill on the tuba, if you can play a couple of notes, come on down. We'll let you in.
So that's on Saturday, December 8th, and then is that the same day you're having the 208th Army Band?
Right. That evening we do a free concert.
Free.
Yes,
free. Yeah.
All of the Army bands are free. We're doing another free concert, which will be great fun. I think it's the 14th of this month, and it is the Air Force Academy Band. And we have never done them before. Yes, the 16th of October. Free concert. These are all the very brilliant young people that the Air Force has accepted to go to their 4-year. And they're touring. And it's amazing what fun these Air Force, Army, Navy, and Marine guys all do. And even Coast Guard, but we've never had the Coast Guard. Okay, Coast Guard, where are you? We've never had you at the Newberry Opera House.
Sure, exactly.
But wonderful, wonderful musicians, and just make feel-good concerts.
Absolutely. Coming up at Christmas also, Monday, December 10th, the Ozark Jubilee presents the Branson Country Christmas.
Oh, that's as corny as you get. It's wonderful. It's Doofus Doolittle is the star.
Doofus Doolittle. Well, that's a good one right there.
But they are very, very professional Branson musicians that have put together a celebration of music of Branson. It's a little bit of bluegrass, a lot of country, a lot of corn, and it's fun.
Absolutely.
And 2 shows for that one.
2 shows. Okay. Now, 803-276-6264 if you'd like to call the Newberry Opera House. And what's the web address?
www.newberryoperahouse.com. NEWBERRYOPERAHOUSE.com. Easy to spell, but it's long.
Yeah.
And it's not Opry.
Okay. Now, some of the other big shows coming up as we go through, because we're almost out of time here. What you got coming up to?
Oh, Ricky Skaggs, Doo-Wop, the Oak Ridge Boys, Guy Lombardo, Benny King is coming. This is a first for us there. Swan Lake, we're doing the Russian National Ballet with Swan Lake.
How about Mitzi Gaynor?
Mitzi Gaynor.
Unbelievable. Does she look that good? I just want to know.
Oh, she does. She does. I actually was in Vegas last week and went to see it. She is. Darn it, she's gorgeous. Biloxi Blues, the Lettermen are coming. Of course, Helen Reddy, Delbert McClinton, John Anderson, the folk singer, the country guy, storytelling, Leahy, if you like Irish music. Lori Morgan, she sold out very quickly. We got Chinese acrobats, we have Russian dancers, we have Irish step dancers, songs of Andrew Lloyd Webber, the Women of Ireland, if you love that PBS special, we've got them coming. Clint Black, another Branson, the C.B. Smith Show of Pigeon Forge, not Branson, Pigeon Forge, and of course Clint Black. That is a huge one coming up. And
you know what?
Don
Is there
Williams.
anything you didn't get? Maybe we should do it that way. That would be easier for everybody. Who didn't you get?
Bon Jovi.
Bon Jovi. Okay. Well,
All
I
right,
can't
if you're
believe.
listening, you need to play. You need to play here.
That's right. I'm telling you what, you've done an outstanding job, and if people miss out, they are just missing out on the best entertainment that's 45 minutes away at a great venue. You got to get down there to the Newberry Opera House, 803-276-6264, newberryoperahouse.com. Check it out. I'm going to be talking about it because we've got a deal worked out. I also got some free tickets here to give away on Giveaway Friday.
Yes, you do. Alvin Ailey, a little temptation. We have some Alvin Ailey tickets. We have Janice Ian and Tom Paxton. We have Deer Camp. That,
and Nunset Park.
honestly, you will love. You're going to laugh. Your bellies are going to ache. It's
Yes.
going to be that kind of a show.
We need that type of thing. Hey, this is WCRS right here in Greenwood. Who am I talking with? I'm talking with Debra Smith. She is from the Newberry Opera House. She is the executive director. But you know what? The Newberry Opera House is just the centerpiece to a great ensemble of things beside the food, beside the orchids, beside the winery. How could you go wrong? You
And
got to
great
get down there.
shopping.
Yes, so you got it all right there. You know, part of the reason you are able to get such great guests is because of the environment of the Newberry Opera House and the people down there that make them feel so special.
It is our audiences that make them special. It's you guys who are listening right now who are going to come to see a show. You respond to the performers and they respond back. And then they want to come back. Thank you. It's you guys that make it possible.
And with like 400 audience, you are up close and personal, folks. So check it out. If you've never been to the Newberry Opera House, pick out some of the shows to go to. Get your tickets so you know you've got a seat.
And we have a brochure that we're happy to send you. Very pretty, 16 pages worth of stuff. Just call the box office or get online and tell us you want to be on our mailing list, and we'll send you one of these brochures.
Absolutely, or just come by Sharp Facets and they can pick one up.
That's the best idea yet.
Absolutely. So if you want to have the best, and don't forget, even though some of these shows, like you said, Debbie, sell out, you could still...
And for that lady that was interested in Olivia, and for anyone else, call now, because those will not last. I don't think they'll last the week. We only went on sale the 2nd of October.
Wow. But, you know, some of these things, they're close or something. Sometimes you do end up with a ticket. You just got to be persistent.
Yes. Call back the day of the show. If we are completely sold out for any show, still call that morning just to see.
Absolutely. You know, Debra Smith, it's always a pleasure to have here. We laugh a lot. We talk a lot about the nice things in Newberry. And, you know, it just makes me feel like I got to get down there.
You do.
I know I
It's
do.
a fun place.
It is. Hey, I'm Ann Eller. I've been here with Debra Smith this afternoon from the Newberry Opera House. Thanks for listening, everybody. We're going to join the news in progress. That's going to do it for us today. Bye-bye, everybody.
Uh-oh.